Hey, 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 everybody. Welcome to the House of Peach series. Yes, I am on, and it is oh so early in the morning here in Dubai, but I did not want to not have my girl have some help on here since I've been up and I have not really acclimated to the time here, so I'm just still off. But come on in. Please tag and share this broadcast. This is going to be good. We had to do some revamping, but we came up with something phenomenal, and I am ready to talk, and I'm excited. You guys have been seeing what we posted, what I've been posting on social media for being here in Dubai. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some other things on tonight. So I'm waiting for Morgan to get in here. So while we do this, we're going to put up the QR code for House of Peach. What do we do with the House of Peach? If you are new streaming live on today and you want to know what House of Peach is all about, well, let me tell you, we are about empowering women. We want to highlight female entrepreneurs, those that are doing great things in their communities, in their lives, that make great turnarounds. That's what we do. And you know what? It's about everybody. So we're focusing on the women, but we're everybody gets encouraged. Hey, Morgan.
Hey, how you doing?
Girl, it is 3:17 a.m. on Wednesday. I know it's still Tuesday there, but it's Wednesday here.
Look at
Yeah.
that. So
Thankfully,
how's tomorrow looking already?
it's a little dark. It's a little
You look
dark.
great.
Huh?
I said you look great for 3
Well,
a.m.
thank you. I decided I came in and after I had dinner and I said, since I'm going to get on, I need to take a nap. So I decided to take a nap. I was just in and out of sleep, in and out of sleep. So I'm a little refreshed right now. So I'm good. I'm
Awesome.
good. But I'm excited. I'm excited. So I was just telling everyone to tag and share. We want to make sure that everyone knows that we are on so you can join in on the conversation. And my laptop would not let me be great today. So I'm on my phone, and you know how much I hate that. So I'm like this on my screen. And if I turn it sideways, then I'm upside down. So I'm like, okay, let me just leave it this way. But it's all good. You can see me, you can hear me, and
Yeah,
that's it.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely. So I'm like super, super excited, especially for you today, because I mean, what a better time than to put you in the hot seat than when you are out of the country.
I know. And I don't like to be in the spotlight like that. I'm always the one that likes to sit in the back. So when you're like, oh, we could do this and this and this, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, you're going to really enjoy this one. But it's fine. I'm excited to share what's going on and how I got to this point, not to boast or brag or anything, because that's not my nature, but I want to make sure I encourage and empower someone. That's the thing, because whatever I am obtaining in my sector of the world and what I'm doing, anybody can have that. Anybody can achieve whatever. I actually had one of my peers, is another surgical technologist, who reached out to me in my inbox, and he's like, so what are you doing? What's going on? What is this that you got going on? So I explained to him, and he said, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to move up. So I gave him some pointers on what he needed to do to get to the point, because it didn't just happen for me overnight. Like, I had to do some things and be in place to receive some stuff to get to this point. And I cannot wait to tell y'all what happened today. So I'm going to wait. We're going to do it all in order. I'm not going to jump ahead.
I am
But you
good,
guys,
good, good.
You guys need to tag someone, share this broadcast. I'm going to see here. I can share it, I think, on my page here. I can do some stuff from my laptop here. But I am, so how's your day been? Well, yeah, because it's still early there. It's still
Ex-
7. So.
Exactly. Yes, it is still 7. Today has been definitely a busy, busy day. Today was the first time ever that I actually wore all of my hats
Mm.
all today. So, um,
How how did you do that? Because you have so many and you're still where you can have a conversation.
um, God, I'm gonna be 100% honest, April. Like
Yes.
when I say he is doing a work, he really, really is, and he is showing me
Mhm.
so, so, so much right now. So no, I listen. The funny thing is, I laughed when I said, "Let's put you in the hot seat," because I too am a background person. I don't
Mhm.
like the spotlight. I don't really like to talk really about what I'm doing. I mean, I can have a conversation and hold a conversation, but I'm not the first one to just jump up and, and kind of, start the conversation or say, hey, let's talk about me. So,
Right,
but it's
right.
crazy because I was on the road yesterday and I have like passed my 30-day. Jackie Hill Perry was hosting like a 30-day secular music fast. And it didn't mean like all secular music. It was just really when it came to the lyrics being more intentional about what you're listening to. And for her,
Mhm.
it was see what happens in 30 days with just your own personal. So I happened to
Okay.
listening, and Willie Moore Jr., I had no idea that he, I guess, has cut some new music. And he has this song called Impress. And when you were like, I want to be able to talk about this and tell you guys all the great things that are going on, but not to boast, but it
Mhm.
automatically brought back the chorus. And he said, I ain't trying to impress. It's favor. I'm blessed.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
I was
says
like,
it all.
that right there is it. So listen,
Mhm.
I want to be able to really talk about the favor and the blessings that have just been raining down on you from when it felt like they weren't to now. And that's really what, I really want to focus on because like when I say I am so, so proud of you, even for
Thank
still not
you.
having met you yet, I can't imagine how amazed and proud your mom is, but I feel like a
Oh,
proud mom and a proud sister and friend over here. Yes, April, yes, yes,
yeah.
yes. So listen, let's just dive right in, and then we'll do like an in media rest. We'll start in the middle, rewind
Okay.
back, and bring it forward.
Okay.
So
Cool, cool. We'll
we
do
are
that.
here, and you are in Dubai
I
getting
am.
an award for what?
So I am getting an award for outstanding leadership and education. I am super proud of the award because when I went up to get it and to see it, because they had sent us how we wanted to have our name on there, and I felt it important to add my credentials because my credentials is how I got here. That was the avenue for me to get to this point. So I made sure that all that I've obtained was on there, that really made it to get to this point. And the funny thing about coming is I only thought that I was just getting the award, which was in itself was enough. I'm like, okay, I'm excited about that.
Right,
But when it came from getting the award to, okay, now we need you to choose which panel you want to be a panelist on, then the game changed and I was like, say what now? You want me to do what? And so then I go through the itinerary and look at all of the topics. And this one that I did today was the one that really resonated with me, that really was about what I do. I'm like, yeah, I can talk about this. I can do this. This is me. This is what I do.
right.
And I was very nervous when I went up there. And I don't ever have trouble talking in front of people. And I don't know if anyone could tell that I was nervous, but I just prayed. I'm like, okay, God, you're just going to have to speak, and I had already written my little notes down, and we didn't go over anything that was on my paper. So we had like 4 or 5 questions and we didn't go over any of that stuff. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, hey, I can fill it in. It's cool. We can do that. Yeah. So I'm
Good
excited.
Lord. That's amazing. So leadership and education. That's okay. So, what do you teach?
So I teach surgical technology, and what we do is we prepare sterile instruments and supplies needed for surgery. So a surgeon will have a list, which is called a preference card, of what they want for any particular surgery that they perform. And we are the ones that open it up in a sterile manner, not touching the item because we want it to be sterile. And then we have to we call it don, don, but it's to put on sterile attire. So we'll have a sterile gown, sterile gloves, we have a mask, and all of that to protect the patient from anything from us, because we're going to go into this patient's body. So we set this up. We're there with the surgeon the entire time. We're passing what they need. So we have to know how to do surgery. So we need to know the steps. We need to know how to troubleshoot. So if something happens emergently, what we're going to need in order to help the surgeon move along and take care of the patient. So it's some people kind of may dummy it down like, oh, you just pass instruments. Well, no, we do way more than just pass instruments, because we have to maintain sterility. We have to watch our sterile items to make sure nobody is going to bump into it and then contaminate it, because that's just going to mess up everything. With the equipment that's being used in the room, we have to learn how to troubleshoot that. So if anything goes wrong with it, we need to know some steps that can be taken. Whether we can do it or no, we can direct the nurse to do those steps to get the equipment working. So it's very involved. Now, we are not nurses, so I want to make this clear. So when I tell people what I do and who I am, they ask, oh, so you're a nurse? No, I'm not a nurse. But years ago, I think it was in the, I don't know, 50s, maybe 40s, 50s, um, maybe even before that, this field was a scrub nurse. So then, as the years passed, we became more specialized. And as we became more specialized, then it branched off and formed, we were OR techs, and then the name changed. So now we're surgical technologists, not to be confused with surgical technicians, which pretty much is the same thing. But when you use the term technologist, then that is way more than just the sterile instruments. That's the equipment. That's anything else that's going to come in extra that we learn how to use. So it's fun. I've been doing this since 2005. My only regret is that I didn't start sooner, because I didn't know about the field. I did not know. So when I graduated from high school, and I won't say when, but when I graduated from high school, we were the doctor, lawyer, nurse. Those are the three top things that they were trying to push you into. And I knew people had surgery. Um, and I knew there was someone to put them to sleep. I know there was a surgeon, but I didn't know everyone that was in the room. So when I found out about the field, it intrigued me, and I was well into my adult years, and I tried it out, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is it. This is it." And I have not looked back. So and then in 2009, I got into the education portion of it while still working in the operating room at the same time.
Wow.
And that's where it really was bling for me, because I love to teach. I absolutely love to teach. I really do. So, yeah,
That
I'm
is
very
amazing.
excited.
So, okay, so I have two questions. But first
Okay.
question, I guess, what's your favorite surgery to have to either scrub in for? And
Okay.
what is the most extensive, like which surgery do you have to prep for that requires maybe the most work?
Okay. So when I got out of school, I didn't really have a specialty that I loved, because we had to do so many and so many specialties. When
Mhm.
I graduated and got my first job in Ohio, I was thrown into orthopedics, and I immediately fell in love. So anything to do with bones, tendons, ligaments, and doing all of that, I love it. So give me a good case where we're sawing bone, we're drilling, we're putting plates and screws in, we are reconstructing something. Yeah, I love that stuff. But I love get staying in all of the specialties, because it keeps your skills up. So if I am on call and I'm on call for general surgery and I do orthopedics, well, if I haven't been doing general surgery, then I have to really pull it from the back to the front to really remember all the steps and what I need to do. So this is what we are going to. I love that. Now there are a couple specialties that I do not prefer to scrub in, but I can do it if need be. I'll do it. I'll do it. But it's not my choice to do that. So what was the next question? Oh, so my favorite
Yeah.
surgery. So I can give you two. In orthopedics, doing an ACL reconstruction would be one of my favorites. And then in GYN, OB, C sections, hands down, C section.
Really?
Yeah, because not only am I a certified surgical technologist, I'm also a certified surgical first assistant, which after I had been a surgical tech for some years, you go back to school to get an additional year training to be a first assistant. And that is I believe that the training that we get is on the same lines as what the surgeons get for real, because it's
Yeah.
so deep in depth with the anatomy. I mean, like deep down in there with stuff I was like, I don't even remember hearing this name, but it was good. And so what I can do is I stand directly across from the surgeon. So
Mhm.
then I can do a lot of what they do. I can make incisions on patients. I can suture patients. I can inject medication. So I can use cautery to stop things from bleeding, a lot of that stuff that I can do. But C-sections, because I'm the one actually, I put pressure on the mother's abdomen to deliver the baby's head. And then the surgeon, of course, delivers the baby, clears the nose and mouth, clamps off the umbilical cord, and cuts it. And then I am the one that gets to take the baby over to the warmer
Really?
for the pediatric team to do their assessment. So I'm like, I get to touch your baby before you do. So I love that. Yeah, I do. I
That's
do.
awesome. Okay, so question, what were you doing before 2005?
Um, what was I doing before 2005? I
Yeah.
was in Atlanta working in the pharmacy. So I had for a long time my pharmacy technician certification. So that's where I started off. And I worked in a hospital, in the pharmacy in the hospital. So we packaged pills for the patients, inpatients. We
Mhm.
made IVs for the patients based on what the physician, what they had given the order. So I did that. Chemotherapy drugs, we put that together, narcotics, all of that. So I did that for a number of years. And then I was in Atlanta working at Grady Hospital in their outpatient pharmacy. And then I left Atlanta and moved back to Valdosta. And I'm like, okay, I got to find something to do because I'm not going to really make a whole lot of money as a pharmacy tech. I need something that's going to really make me more involved. I don't want to be a pill pusher. That's pretty much what you are when you work in pharmacy. You're pushing pills and liquids and making creams and ointments and stuff. And I didn't want to do that. So I chose, there were two colleges in Valdosta. There's Valdosta State University. And at the time, it was Valdosta Technical College. Now it's Wiregrass. And I knew I didn't want to go to the college and spend all that time because I had one daughter and one was on the way. So I'm like, I had two at the time. I had two. So I was trying to figure out what I needed to do. And then I came across surgical technology. But yeah, I was a pharmacy tech. So my students, when I tell them everything that I've done, they're like, well, what haven't you done? And I'm like, let me think. What haven't I done? I don't know. I've done a lot.
So, have you always been a traveler or like a mover in the sense of being from place to place or liking to live and be in different places?
No,
No.
no. So all of this traveling and moving around that I've been doing,
Mhm.
especially since I started in education, it's all brand new. So my first teaching assignment was in Florence, Kentucky. It was with a college that was national college at the time. I came in as a clinical coordinator. So with the clinical coordinator, I would teach a class or two, teach the lab. So I taught the hands-on portion, and then I would maintain the students in their clinical rotation. So I would assign them to their hospital to get their outside training, and then I would go and monitor them and give feedback and do what was necessary with that. And then after I did that for a while, then we moved to Arizona, which was the first place outside of where I'd been, because Florence, Kentucky is like right over the line of Cincinnati. So I was in Cincinnati and I was in Florence, and then we went to Arizona, which was a big jump. And then I got to teach. I worked in the hospital there. I had a teaching gig there as well. And then as the years passed, I just moved up from being an instructor or a clinical coordinator to being the full-fledged director of the program.
Mm,
And so that was like, oh, I like this, because I like to be able to put systems in place, see where things are not working, and devise a plan to make them work better. That's what I love. And so everywhere, I kid you not, and people, they look at me when I tell them this, everywhere that I have lived where I've been director of the program, I have been the cleanup woman. Literally,
mm,
because whoever was running the program before I got there, they were not doing what was necessary. The students were not being educated well. They didn't have enough equipment and supplies. It just was not organized at all. So I had to come in and implement things to make it organized and do things to make it better. So that's what I did.
okay, the Olivia Pope of fixing stuff.
But you know, the moving, I hate moving. And if I didn't have to pack everything up
Yeah.
myself, then it wouldn't be a problem. Like, okay, but I wanted to be the one to work at a place for 20, 30 years. And it's like, okay, I'm going to retire. But that's not the case. That's not my story. And I couldn't understand why. And now that I recognize, now that I know who I am and actually walking in the calling of who I am, now I understand I'm on assignment everywhere I go. And I didn't see it then until God had to remind me, okay, remember you were here. This is who you were here for. It's always someone. So
Mhm.
when I was in South Dakota, there were two main students that I was there for. Unfortunately, one of them, he committed suicide, and it broke my heart. And I had just seen him in class the week before. And then the other one, if you'll see stuff on my page where, my students are always, or my graduates are always putting things on there. And that's why I do what I do. I love this field I love it with everything in me. And I love to teach. I love to empower people to take their lives and run with it. You can find something that excites you, that motivates you, that gets you going, that you can get into, and then just take it and change your life. Because being in this field, I would not have ever imagined that I would be where I am. I would not. I would not. So I don't see any comments. I see them actually
On
on
the
Facebook,
Facebook?
but I do not see them on here. So
Me either. And I know.
I see your page, but you might not have your page connected here. So if you don't have your page, so I'm looking on. I see
My page is
Corey. Thank you. I see
phone
you.
upstairs. So yeah,
Huh?
I said I think my phone is upstairs. So I was
Oh, okay.
I don't yeah, I don't see any messages on my end.
Yeah.
Well, are folks asking questions? Let's see if we can get on in here.
So Corey, thank you, Corey. Thank you, Jackie. They're just talking, congratulating me and telling me how proud of me they are. Thank you. So yeah, this has been this week, just coming here. The flight over here, I have not been on a flight this long since I went to Italy some years ago. So I'm like, okay, April, this this is about to be something. And it was. So but I made it. I did. I made it.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so my next question is how has and so especially because you said you don't particularly like the moving, wasn't expecting that to be part of
Mhm.
gig. How have you had to deal with moving and being a mom?
Oh, so I am an organizer by nature. I like things to be, one, two, three, like that. So I would never move anywhere without having things set up prior to me moving. So if I knew that I was getting ready to move somewhere, I would always tell the potential employer, listen, I need to find housing, get my kids enrolled in school or daycare,
Mhm.
and make sure I have my utilities and all that good stuff before I come in that direction. And they were always like, fine, that's good, whatever you need to do. And I would do that. It's just, I can't even, I'm just going to say what you said, God, because that's the only thing I could think of. I am a planner. So I knew, okay, I need to pack this up and we're going to be traveling for this many days. So I need to make sure that there's a suitcase for the kids with this amount of clothes in there. So it was very, very detailed on what I did. When I pack boxes, I label everything so I'll know what needs to go in there. I research moving trucks and who's going to be the cheapest, and all of that, and then planning. And it really wasn't bad with the kids, because the first time that I moved, my son Micah was 5 months old, my
Mhm.
daughter Zuri was 4, and Kayla was 6. And I drove and I packed them up in my car. The hospital where I started working straight out of school, they had a moving company come and pack up my stuff from my parents' house, and they took it to my address. So all I had to do was get in the car and drive me and the kids. And
Mm.
Micah, I was breastfeeding Micah at the time, and I just drove. I wasn't on really on a time schedule, so it wasn't bad at all. I knew, okay, I need to stop at this time, fill up, feed him, feed the girls, let them use the bathroom, change him, all of that stuff. So it wasn't an issue. And all they did was sleep. My goodness, they're bad. The kids are not good role partners, because all they do is go to sleep. It's like, oh, okay, well, guess I'll just listen to music while I'm in here. They don't do that.
Right, right, right. I hear you. I hear you. So, besides being organized, um,
Hmm.
consistency is key when it comes to kids as well. And a lot of people, sometimes I know that's a fear. If it's like, well, I have to move here, I have to move there, or even if it's just, it doesn't even have to be big state to state moves, but sometimes
Hmm.
even, from town to town, and having to, reestablish, friends, the area, all that kind of stuff. How did you, tackle stability when it came to, your kids, and then also still knowing I have a job to do?
Yeah. So when I first moved to, and I like to talk about Ohio because that is the first big place that I moved. We had no friends, no family. So it was just me and the kids when we moved there. It was a little scary, but I'm tough and I always have been. And it's always been about my kids. So I would make sure that, I worked during the week. I made sure they had what they needed as far as school and daycare, and then on the weekends I made it my business for us to do stuff. So we interacted. We went out to I took them to the park. Our apartment was right next to the pool. I would put them in there sometimes. And I my neighbor next door, she was just like me, a single mom, and I think she had 3 kids at the time. And so we kind of, we would talk. We didn't never really get close, but we lived right next door to each other. So we understood, how things were. And I didn't really make friends. I didn't. I can tell you, out of all the places that I've been, I never made any friends. My kids did. As they got older and were in school and daycare, they made friends. Sometimes they would get together with them, sometimes not. But they seemingly, they didn't have an issue with moving as much. I do know that they had the most difficult time when we were in South Dakota. So South Dakota was the most difficult place for us to live. But other than that, Arizona probably was the best place that we lived, because they made a lot of friends quickly, and they cried like babies when we had to leave there because they did not want to go. So for me, not having friends, that was really difficult, because I wanted to have that adult interaction, and I didn't have that. And it was just me, and I had to figure out, I just gave in to being with my kids and doing stuff with the kids, and that's how it was. And I always had that longing to have friends, girlfriends that I hang out with and girlfriends that I did stuff with, and it never really materialized. So I said, well, this is my lot. I'm just gonna focus on work and the kids and everything else and just leave the other stuff alone, even though I still wanted it. So
Absolutely. Well, look how God is blessing you because of your obedience and priorities now. Okay.
yeah.
Like you are just over here doing some big things.
And still in awe, just still in awe because, I was in a really low place not many years ago and thinking that I would never have see success like I wanted to see it and see great things like I saw for other people. And when you get into that mentality, then it's hard for you to manifest it because all you see is that. But I always knew I have something great in me. I know I do. Like, why? I know. And so it wasn't until I really got into that and started really changing my mindset. That's one of the things that we've been talking about here at the conference is changing your mindset about things. And I just kept working hard and loving what I do. And here I am. It's yeah. It's like, and when I go outside, I'm like, I am in Dubai. This is wow.
Yes, I know. I'm sure. Just completely in awe. Listen, we sometimes when it seems like it's dark and lonely, that is when the growth is. So, I'm sure that in that time when it seemed like it was just you, there was a lot of work, a lot of growing, a lot of maturation and things so that you could be able to do that here. Like, did you travel with by yourself, or did you know anybody else that came with you to the conference?
I know no one. I literally came alone. It wasn't like I was meeting a group of people here. I know no one, but I did meet a lady today. We have at the end of the day, we have our networking session. And I met a lady. She lives in Germany now, but her family's from Georgia, and they're from Cordele, Georgia, which is like an hour away from Valdosta, where I grew up. And I was in shock. She lives all the way in Germany and was talking about Cordele, and I was floored. Like, I'm across the water, like 8 hours ahead, and here I am meeting someone who has family in a city, a town, city, I guess you could call it a city, not far from where I grew up. So that was amazing to do that. But yeah, I don't know anybody here, no one. But I've made some friends, and some connections. And get this, so from the past, and I'm going to jump all over the place because I will be out of time before I know it. But as I was doing my panel discussion today, I was looking out into the audience, and when I say had them, they were so locked in to what I was saying. I was like, okay, well, you command this room, girl, and just, talk about what you
Yeah.
know. So I did put the link on my Facebook page, guys. You're going to have to fast forward it up, and I can't tell you how far, but you'll fast forward it up to where our moderator comes up and she introduces the panelists. And of course, I'm the first one. I'm like, well, hey, the last shall be first. So I was first. But after the session, and I had gone and done some other things and came back, and I was sitting down, and I like to, I'm very observant. So I just sat back in an area where I could see everyone, see how they move, how they communicate with each other. And I had a guy come and sit next to me. He introduced himself. He told me, where he's from, India, and he was telling me what he did. And he pretty much has connections in India with all the healthcare systems, all the doctors and surgeons and all this stuff and education. And he said, would you be interested in coming to India to talk about what you do and see how you can help them over in India? I was like, absolutely. I gave him my information. And you know how it is at networking events. Sometimes it's hit or miss. You
Right.
never know who's going to contact you. So I gave him my card, and I went on, working through the crowd and talking to people. And And he came a few minutes later, he came to me and he said, well, I've already sent your name and contact information to our director or president or whoever it is, and you should be hearing something soon. I said, okay, sounds good. As I'm screaming in my head,
Yes, that
so
is huge.
I'm coming, India.
I
I'm
love it.
coming.
I love it. I love
I'm Yeah, I'm coming. So I was now the thing about this conference and others that I've been to was networking. Like I said, you pass information on, you share information, but you never know who's going to do what they say they're going to do.
right,
The
right.
caliber of people here, they are so successful and they're real about what they're doing. This is not to come and just, oh, I'm just going to come and I'm going to take this trip and I'm going to come to this conference. No, no, no. These people are intentional about what they're doing. I feel that. So everyone that I've connected with, I expect them to contact me and set something up. I expect that because that's how it is here. That's what the people are. That's how that's the feel of it. This is not just, oh, we're just coming to another conference. No, we're coming to network. We're coming to see how you can help us and how we can help you, and we're going to make it happen. So I'm excited about that.
Iceberg, April. Like this is just the beginning. Oh my gosh, I am so so happy for you. Okay, hold on. I take a small break for a hot second before I ask
Okay.
you a question. Okay, what have you been eating? You know, I need to know about food. What have you been eating?
Well, when I tell you, so I'm here at the Intercontinental Festival City Hotel,
Okay.
and very nice, very upscale. And we have free breakfast with our room. And then the same place they give us a discount to eat dinner, lunch and dinner. And so, well, they give us lunch, but at dinner.
Mhm.
And when I tell you this food is so fresh and so flavorful, I got some, and I can't think of the type of rice that it was. It wasn't jasmine rice, it was a different kind of rice. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try this and see what. When I tell you that first forkful that I took, I was like, oh my God, this is so good. I had some fish. They had pan seared some fish. I can't remember which one it was. I thought it was sea bass, but it wasn't. And when it was like falling apart, just melting in my mouth. It was so good. The fruit, because I'm a fruit person, the fruit so fresh and so sweet. I'm like, this is, and they had stations of everything. So I could get sushi in one place. They had another station where they had whole fish that they were searing and doing stuff with, and they had swordfish there. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want any of that. I'm good with that. And then, of course, they had their traditional, they cook the chicken and beef, but they have their own seasonings and flavors, and I don't eat that. So I was like, oh, it looks good, but I don't want that. So I just make it my business to eat something different.
Right.
And but it's been good. It's been really, really good. Yeah, the food. I've been trying stuff like, what is this, let me taste this and see. Oh no, I don't like that. Oh, this is good. I had something today and it almost looked like a wonton. They had fried it and they had this green sauce to go with it, but I didn't need that because when I bit into it, when I tell you this thing was spicy, I was like, oh, my mouth is on fire. It was good and flavorful, but it was spicy.
Was the
But you can
green
get,
sauce spicy too?
huh?
I said, was the green sauce spicy? Because it might have been
No,
something
no, no, no.
to cut the spice.
No, no, no. It could have been, but I still ate it because I like spicy things, and I was
Okay.
like, "Oh, this is good." So, yeah, it's nice, and the Crown Plaza Hotel is connected to
Okay.
this one, so you can clearly walk through a corridor and go over there, and they have their own restaurants there. I have not gone into the city because I'm here by myself,
Right.
and yeah, I don't want to do that. So when I come back, I
There you
want to make sure I have somebody with me so I can go to the places that I want to go. So you're like, I volunteer.
Oh no, definitely, definitely. Oh my goodness, that would be great. So, April, I need you to tell folks about the your newest um venture and what you just completed
Mm.
you can pre-order? Because I
Oh
know I
yeah.
pre-ordered mine.
So I have been so blessed to complete my first book. And I'm taking pre-orders, and I gave Peach the link to put up there for you to pre-order. So, one thing that I have been gifted and blessed to do is to be a writer. And I took it for granted until I started writing things. And my mom was like, oh my goodness, how do you put those words together? It has to be God, because once I get started, I just go. And so I've written this 31-day devotional. And things that, and everyone sees what I put on Facebook every day, well, Monday through Friday most of the time. And I've even been posting from here, so I've been obedient. I've been doing it here. But I've compiled those, at least 31 days of those, into the first book. It's called Intentional You, A Push to Destiny. And you can pre-order now. Those that pre-order, it's free shipping, and it is stuff that comes straight from God, and it's from my life. So something that Ariel may have said, or something that I've seen on TV, or something that I've experienced out and about, or just something that he's dropped in my spirit, and I just start writing and reading over it. I'm like, whoa, this is heavy. So I'm excited about that. I want everyone, if you have not ordered, to please pre-order. It will be shipped out, and it will be printed and shipped out within the next few weeks. And then you will have your copy. But don't order just one, because it's meant to be uplifting and encouraging and of support for people. So just make sure that if you have someone that's dealing with some things in their life and they just need a little pick me up, that this book will definitely do that. And you don't have to read it in order. You can, pick it up and open up any day and read that. And then at the end of each entry, I have a reflections page where you can write your takeaway, and how that entry that you read made you feel. And then you can reflect back on it after a while, and you get on the other side of whatever you're doing or facing or dealing with, and see where you were at that point, and then compare it to where you are at that present moment. So I'm excited about that. But, I have two more books that are in the works. I started writing them about 2 years ago, and I stopped. So after I did this book, God said, now finish the other one. So I'm like, oh, okay. So those are going to be, one of them is on my life. And I will give the title to this book, because this title was God given. The title of this book is An Attempted Assassination. That's the title of the book.
Wow. Okay, then
Yeah.
that means that's really gonna be good. I'm look, I'm all like, ooh, I can't wait to dive
Yeah, so
in.
I'm excited about all of that, and getting into that part of my life that I never thought I would get into. So that's exciting for me.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. I love how you are tapping into all these different facets and these different talents and things that you've had, or at least being open to being in
Mhm.
this space where then you can be able to see, what really fits in.
Mhm.
So, where do you, besides finishing these two books, where do you see yourself next? Are you embracing this portion of being, I guess, a world traveling teacher?
um Where do I see? Am I embracing this? Yes, I am embracing it, because every week I'm flying somewhere. So I thought that when I got back, I'm flying back into New Jersey Thursday,
Mhm.
and then I have to get a ticket from New Jersey to San Antonio. And I'm like, oh, I really don't have anything on the book for July. And then stuff started popping up. I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I do have stuff for July. So I am embracing it. It's fun. I'm building up a lot of Sky Miles. Shout out to Delta, because now they upgrade me freely because I've hit a new status.
Love it.
But yeah, I have. And where do I see myself? I see myself with this consulting business that I have, explosive. And I see me planting surgical technology programs in colleges, universities, healthcare systems, phenomenal programs because I don't have to do anything, programs with of distinction and excellence that will teach and prepare the next generations of surgical technologists and change the game, change the narrative in surgery, at least from our standpoint. There are a lot of surgical techs who are not doing what they should be doing, and they're giving poor performance, and the patients are suffering from that. And I don't, that's not who I am, but I see myself with that. And I'll share this, as I was sitting in the first session on Monday, and I'm just listening to the different panel, the different sections and the panel discussions, and I just kept hearing mentoring program. You need to start a mentoring program. So I immediately got my notepad out because when I hear that, God's getting ready to tell me some stuff. And so I'm sitting at the table and they're talking. I've kind of zoned out because I'm listening to God tell me what to do. And so he's right. He told me. So I'm going to start, and you guys are going to be the first ones to hear it. I'm going to start a mentoring program, not no specific age group. So it'll be for children, there will be for adults. And this, for the adults, it will be two compartments to that. It will be to, if you are in a career or a field that you're not happy in, or you need something different, and I'm going to help mentor you to get to where you need to be, and then also coach you in your life too, because I have experience that I can, share with people. And I've always had people my entire life who come to me with their problems and their issues, and we talk through it and I help them. And then for me to see them get on the other side of it and do well, that gives me joy. So I'm going to do that. And then with the kids, it's going to mentor them from where they are to their future. So I'm going to start those two. I got to get more instruction on how that to be done, but it's going to, all of that, in the midst of the traveling and the programs, I want to do that. There is a great need for surgical technologists across the board, all across the United States. And I want to make sure that those areas that have the higher concentration of open positions, that we get schools in programs in place, accredited programs in place that we can fill, and then those hospitals and surgery centers can then get their employees from there. And I tell healthcare systems all the time, you can start your own program within your healthcare system, work through the accreditation piece, which my company can do, and then you can hire directly out of your own specific program and put them in whatever facility you need them. It's just as simple as that. Um, so that's where I see myself. And the ministry aspect of it has changed for me because, I've said before in previous lives and interviews of who it was prophesied to me, who I was. And I saw things and I just downplayed it like I want no parts of it. But I have totally accepted that, which has in turn, because of my obedience with that, has then in turn opened up these doors for where I am now. I think that if I had said, God, I'm not going to do it, I don't want to be a prophetess, I don't want to prophesy to anybody, I don't want to do any of that, I don't want to pray for people and do all that, but it would rise up in me to where I would want to do that, because I knew that if I prayed, I knew if I touched people, I knew if I did that things would change. So now I've embraced that.
Right.
And now that since I've embraced it and I did that, I met a couple of guys here. One's from New York, the other one was from Connecticut, and they're fraternity brothers. And one of them was like one of the keynote speakers, and we connected and we hung out together these past couple of days. And we were standing talking. He had his booth set up because he has a book that he's written, and we were talking, and I shared some stuff with him, and he was floored And so he was like, well, come on, we need to go get some dinner. And so we're walking, and he was like, you have completely floored me with what you said. I said, well, that's not it. That's not it. So I just waited and waited. So as we're walking to the restaurant, I just kept hearing it. I'm like, okay, all right. So we sit down, we order our food. And while we're sitting there, I said, listen, I said, I try to stay low key, but let me just go ahead. Because he had asked me when I gave him the first part, he said, are you a minister or a pastor or something? I said, well, I'm a minister. I said, I'm also a prophet. I said, I'm a prayer warrior. And I said, all that kind of stuff. I said, but I keep staying low key. So we're sitting at the table, and I said, listen, let me go ahead and give you the rest of this. So when I gave it to him, he immediately started crying, like, oh my God, he felt that. So I know just from me being obedient, doing that, God, that has unlocked something else for me. I just want to help people. I do. Whatever it is. If you are in a career you don't like and you can handle blood, guts, and needles, and you want to look into, even if it's not surgical technology, I want to help you. That's a part of the mentoring. I want to help you find out where you need to be, because it's there, you just have not tapped into it yet, and you just need the right questions asked and the right direction, you pushed in the right direction for you to find out what that is. And for me to be able to impact people to do that, I'm all for it. Like, I don't, you don't have to call my name, don't say anything. It's gonna be a fee for my service, but you don't have to call my
That's
name.
right.
But when you the enough for me is to see you thriving where you are. That's what I want. That's what I want, because then it lets me know, April, you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're on the right track. So I'm good. I'm good with that. Yeah.
All right. So my last question, and here's one of those good thought-provoking questions for
Okay.
you. What would now April say to April 5 years ago?
Let's see. So 5 years ago, that would be what, 2018?
2018. Yeah. So 5 years ago.
So in 2018, I was in South Dakota. Okay. Oh, that was, yeah,
Oh.
that was a time. Oh yeah, that's a perfect year. Because at that time I was going through a divorce. It was getting finalized.
Mm,
I had been struggling emotionally, mentally, and financially for a number of years. So yeah. So what I would tell April 5 years ago is, baby, just hold on. Just you got to tap into that strength that you have. You are going to get on the other side of this. I know you don't see it. I know you can't imagine it. You can't fathom it. You can't even understand why you're in the place that you're in. But I guarantee you, if you just don't give up, you will see exactly why you had to go through what you went through. And that's real, because I wanted to give up. I considered suicide several times. In Ohio, I thought about driving off into the Ohio River. I thought about pills, whatever. I'm like, I might, but then I would think about my kids. Like, why would you do that to them? So God kept me even in the midst of everything that I've experienced in my life. Like, I tell people, if you knew my story, if you knew exactly what I've been through, I should be strung out on drugs or in some insane asylum or dead, one of the three. And
mm,
I'm not. And even though when I went through all the various things in my life, I did, thinking, God, don't you hear me praying? I'm praying and you're not doing anything. I'm praying and stuff is still happening. And why? I
mm,
could have easily turned my back on God, been like, I don't want nothing to do with you. I don't want to hear your name. I don't nothing. And I didn't. I still held on because I believed who he was, but it wasn't me completely saying, you know what? The heck with all of it. I'm done. I'm done. And it was not that. But yeah, that's what I would tell April from 5 years ago. Just hang on, baby. Just hang on. Just dig deep. Dig deep into who you are. Dig deep into that prayer. Because I've always loved to pray. Always loved to pray. Just dig deep into that prayer, because that's where I would get my most peace. So yeah. You're
Okay.
almost there. You're getting there. You're
That
getting
was
there.
it. That was it. That was it. What was South Dakota like as far as land, weather? What was that like?
South Dakota was the worst place that I've ever lived in my life. And I
Really?
would, the only way I would go back is if God told me to go back, and I would cry my eyeballs out. What time is it in Dubai? It is 4:10 a.m. 4:10 a.m. Yes. And I probably won't, if I go to sleep, it will be for an hour because my alarm is set to go off at 5:30. I have not been to sleep like a full night's sleep since I've been here. So I'm in trouble.
Oh, well then look, on that note,
No, I'm not. I'm telling you, I'm too amped up because I love doing stuff like this. So I
right.
get amped up, and I'm not gonna be able to calm down. It's You're good. You're good.
Well, good. At
Trust me.
least you'll
I
get
got
to sleep on that on that plane on the way back at least.
girl. Listen, they give us a blanket and a pillow, and the seats recline. Oh, sister girl's gonna be out.
Oh,
Um,
good. Good, good.
So back to South Dakota. So South Dakota is farmland, flat plains, no nothing. So the winters are brutal. The wind is ridiculous. So and this was in the summer. I'm sitting at a traffic light in my car, and my car is just shaking. And I was like, "Who's pushing my car?" It was the wind. So because it's flat and open, there's nothing to block the wind. So the
Um,
wind just will knock you over. Um, Negative degree weather in the winter. It can be May, and there's still mounds of ice all over the town where I was. It was because I remember when I left South Dakota and came to New Jersey, I had to fly back because my students were graduating from the program. And when I came into town, I saw all the mounds of ice, and it was May, and it wasn't melted. So yeah, it was. But being in South Dakota, I learned leadership. That's where I gained my leadership skills. Thank you so much. I don't know who that Facebook user is. Thank you so much for congratulating me on my award. I appreciate that. So yeah, that was yeah, that was an experience. I learned quite a bit about leadership there, and that was my purpose. One of my purposes was to learn that, and then the other two were two of the students that were in my, well, actually three students now that I remember, in my program that were there. Oh, hey, Smack.
nice snack.
So yeah, so that was that experience.
Your least favorite place, leadership
Mhm.
was sharpened, and now you are here across seas being awarded for your leadership.
Go figure.
Look at God.
Go figure. The place of your greatest struggle will be the place of your greatest blessing. So, yeah, because I struggled there. And when I got to the town where we were, because it was a town like about 25 to 27,000 people lived in this small town. And I went around, I'm like, oh, well, this is where I'm going. And I was content to make a life there and raise my kids there and buy a house there. I did not know. Everywhere I've moved with the intent of this is where I'm going to be, not realizing that you're on assignment. You're not going to be here long. If I had known that, I wouldn't have unpacked everything. I just left it partial stuff unpacked and left everything else packed up. Like, why am I unpacking and putting stuff up on the walls and like making a home? Why? Why?
It's so
So,
funny that you say that because I have moved since high school because I went to a boarding school my last few years in high school. So all through
mhm,
high school, all through college, and then majority of my adult life, I have moved. And it's so funny that you say that because the one thing that I want to do is get to a place where I know I feel like I'm settled and I can
mhm,
really put some nails in the wall. But it's so
mhm.
funny because you're right. We have no idea the plans that God has for us. And just when we're over here, like, oh, well, this is the one thing that I want, He goes and shows you, but look at what I have for you.
Yeah.
What I have.
I'm not. I don't even, I'm not even looking to be in Texas long. I don't look at it like that anymore. I don't. I tell people, "Oh, I'm hoping this is my last place," but I'm saying in my mind, I know it's not.
No, it's not. Yeah,
I know
exactly.
it's not. So that's why I have been intentional about praying every day. Like, okay, God, what do you want me to do? Because I still don't have regular employment where I have money coming in, but my bills are being paid. Like, okay, God, well, you do your thing, and I'll just be obedient and do what you tell me to do, because I can literally go and get me a job. And He's like, no, I didn't tell you to do that. Oh, okay,
Right.
well, I'm just gonna do what you tell me to do. But yeah, who knows? People are like, how long you gonna be in Texas? I don't know. You talk to God about that. I don't know. Ask him, because I have no clue. I'm here.
Exactly.
My MO usually 2 to 3 years. If I'm in a place 2 to 3 years, then I'm gone. Well, when I hit 4 years in New Jersey, I was like, oh, I'm straight. I hit 4 years. I'm good. I'm gonna be here forever. Let me find this house and buy this house. And then he said, go to San Antonio, and I was like, say what now? Say that again. Go where? But Lord, the job was great. Like, I have to tell people, nothing was wrong in New Jersey, nothing at all. My job was great. I was planning on retiring, like walking out of there with a cane, because it's a really great place to work, and I loved it. And I built the program and got it accredited. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna do all this extra stuff too. And God said, no, you did what you were supposed to do. You got the program accredited. You got things organized. You built it. You changed the name of what people would think were saying about the program, because it had a bad taste in people's mouth because of the type of students that the previous director had been producing. So I come in, I change it up, like, oh no, we're not going like that. This is how we're doing it. So then I had these facilities calling me, you got any students? You got any graduates? We have these positions. Like, yo, you hired everyone that I had. You got to wait for the next group to come out. So that says a lot about what I've done. Okay, you completed your assignment and everything's organized now. Somebody else can pick up where you stop. I need you to do something else. Okay, God, fine. I hear you.
I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Will you continue to be obedient? You continue to thrive and grow. I pray blessings upon you.
Thank you.
Definitely
Thank you.
traveling mercies, but blessings upon you in every single venture, every single place you end up being. I pray that the right people come across your path to really show you, um, and to show you and to what's the word? To confirm what
Mm,
you have been learning already and seeing for who you are. Um,
thank you.
I didn't know the April from 5 years ago. I didn't even know the April from a year ago. But I feel
Mhm.
so blessed to, have you in my corner. I feel blessed to know you, and you are just. I want you to know you are incredible, April.
Thank you.
You are
Thank you.
absolutely incredible.
Thank
You are
you.
an amazing woman. Um, and your obedience blesses so many.
Thank you.
So
And
continue
that
to be obedient for yourself, because there are a
mhm.
lot of blessings for other people that are still tied to your obedience as well. So I just want to say thank you for your
Oh,
obedience, because I feel like blessings have come into my life just from being attached to you.
stop. You're gonna make me cry. Don't do that. Don't do
Yeah.
that. But I love people, and I love helping, and I love and I understand I have a great calling on my life, that people are attached to, that, and that their deliverance and their blessing and everything is attached. And like you said, it's from my obedience. So I've been really working on doing that, just being obedient. Me taking that move from New Jersey to Texas, that was a big obedient move. I could have said, oh no, I'm going to stay right here. This job is good. But I know how God does me. If I don't do what He's instructed me to do, He would have let the bottom fall out at the job, and then they would have ended up firing me, and I would have been like, wait a minute. So I'm like, no, let me get out of here before things go south. I'm going to be obedient. But thank you. That means a lot for you to say that to me, because for it wasn't until 2019, when I first moved to New Jersey, where I started working on myself.
Mm,
My self-worth was zero. When you hear me, zero. I didn't think I was beautiful. I didn't think I was smart enough. I didn't think I was capable. I did not think that I would ever succeed and do anything, and to be where I am now, I did what was necessary. I get therapy, and I built my relationship with God, and I do take courses and workshops that build me. And so now when I look in the mirror, I'm like, you go, girl, you got this. You can do this. And I feel the confidence level. Like I walk in a literally walk in any room and people are like this, trying to figure out who I am. So I am grateful for that, for because God puts me where I need me, where I'm needed, and then I do what he tells me to do. And I'm really humble, still in shock. I've been here since Sunday night and I'm still in shock. Like I can't even, when I walked in this hotel room, I was like, shut your mouth. This how y'all living over here? Like, oh, okay, this what we doing. I love it. Give me
Yes,
more of that.
I
But
love it. I love it. I love it. I love
yeah,
it. Yes. Great things are going to be happening. And listen, just like the sparrow, the squirrel, the worm on the ground ain't worried about what's going to happen tomorrow. Don't worry about what is going to happen next. You continue to be obedient. You continue to go where he tells you to go. You finish up those 2 books and watch these 3 books be that passive income that just allows you to
mm,
live and create the life that you have been trying to create for yourself and then also for Ariel. Because listen, what you're doing right now is setting such a huge foundation for her. She
mm-hmm,
is your last. And when I say that this is going to be a humongous impact for her and who she's going to grow up to be, and then on top of that, your grandkids, I know your older kids are super, super, super proud of you. I know
yeah,
your son sees you and he can't help but have his chest stuck out as well, saying, "That's my mom." And so at the
yeah.
same time, just know that like I see big things for you, and I'm excited for the ride, and I'm just so great I get to be a spectator in this.
Yeah,
Great.
thank you so much. Look at you being all right, little prophet. Oh, you getting started. I receive all of that. I cannot wait to see you in September. So, for y'all that don't know, in September, we're going to have our very first House of Peach event. It's going to be in Delaware. You will have more information on that. Subscribe to our page, House of Peach page. That way you can keep up with all of the events, when we're live, what's going on. You'll be on Morgan's page, my page, YouTube. And for those of you that are not following me on YouTube, I think it's Lady April 36 on there. I think that's what I saw it. Go over there and subscribe. I'm going to start putting content over there as well. I have some, but I kind of fell off from doing that. And so I've been instructed to pick that up and do that more. But follow me on all social media platforms. The only one I really don't use is Twitter, but I'm big on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So follow me there. Go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would be most appreciative. And buy that book for you and a couple of friends, and and bless them. And I know it will bless you. And one thing that I will say this about the book: when you guys get your book and you read your book, yes, you're reading the entries, not when you complete it, but as you're reading the entries, what if you want to send me something just as encouragement or say, hey, this really hit me, just do that, because that lets me know that I'm impacting your life. And that's what I want to do. I don't want to just produce something and it's like, oh, well, it was okay. No, I want something for you to be like, oh my goodness, yes, and I needed this. And thank you so much. That's what I need to hear. That will, just push me to do more and to go further. But I have had fun. I didn't know I was going to be in the hot seat until you said it, and I'm like, okay, she's going to have a good time with this one.
I did. I mean, I figured like, hey, I got thrown in there. What better way than to have, like I said, you're not here. You're doing something big and mighty. And I just wanted to feel like we need to boast on you for a minute. So
No, I appreciate that.
We will see you guys next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday at
7:15
7:15 at the
Eastern.
same time, same
Tuesday.
platform. Y'all have an amazing rest of your week, and I will be getting on the plane Thursday at 1:15 a.m. heading back to the States. So you guys keep me in prayer. Hey, I know how to make a plane work because I get on there and pray like everybody's gonna be good. The pilots and co-pilots going to be fine, and every mechanical piece on this plane is going to function as it is. And the planes landed so smoothly in Switzerland and here that I didn't even know we had landed until someone lifted up the shade because I didn't even feel it. That's what I do. This is what I do.
Amen.
Y'all better.
Yes.
This is what I do right here. We're going to land this plane smoothly. So y'all join us
Amen.
next week. I will be back stationary somewhere. I don't know where I'll be. I can't even lie and say I'm going to be in Texas because I might not be. I don't know.
Well, we
So,
got the he said, she said next week too. So this is,
okay.
and it's gonna be real good.
Yes. So and so I'm glad you said that. So if you are a male, female, and you want to be a panelist, we already have 3 so far. You and I'll talk about that. We have 3 so far that are going to be on for our he said, she said, and we're talking about submission, right?
Yes, we are talking about
Yes.
in a relationship. We're talking about relationship roles and the whole nine. So I'm excited.
I am. That's going to be a good one. So our he said, she said is going to be amazing. If y'all thought the first one was good, this one here is going to be even better. So join us
Look, our producer
next
is
week.
chuckling.
Huh?
I said our producer is chuckling. Pierce is over here chuckling.
It's going to be good. So yeah. So join us next week. We can't wait to have you on. Please share this broadcast, share this page so people will know to join us. We're not just we're doing a whole lot here. This is expanding much further than what I thought it was going to be. So, but I'm here for the ride, and I know Morgan's here for the ride.
Most definitely.
So,
And make sure you share that link so that April can get all of these books sold. Okay,
oh
look,
yeah,
this on a number
yeah.
one seller. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, support your girl. But I'm gonna sign out at 4:26 a.m. here in Dubai. It's
Yeah.
hot outside, but I'm not going out there. I'll be getting up in about an hour. I'll lay down for about an hour and then I'll get
Yes.
up and get ready for day 3. So I'll have stuff up on my page about day 3 and what's going on here. Thank you so much. I love you
Thank you. I love
dearly.
you too. I love you
All right.
too. Get a little rested. I'll see you soon.
All right. Bye everybody.
Yeah, I'm so extra. Express myself, I'm next up. Yeah, what more do you say? Coming up. Yeah.